Hello, welcome back to the Breaking News Update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got a breaking news report coming out from the Ukraine war to share with all of you. We also have a major update from the White House as well that I'd like to share with all of you. Take a look at this new report here on your screen. White House admits Trump's team will not end Ukraine war by Easter. U.S. President Trump has promised to end Russia's war against Ukraine in 24 hours, but White House officials admit he will not ensure a ceasefire in Ukraine before Easter on April 20th. Okay, so that's just a few weeks away from now. So we know that the Trump administration has been trying to push for a ceasefire to end this war by Easter on April 20th. Doesn't look like that's going to happen as the White House officials are now coming out and confirming that. And I think this is pretty obvious to most people. Many of us are expecting this war to continue on for probably several more months. I do have some information to show you guys that. Some details that we went over this morning with our update video for the Russia-Ukraine war that we'll go over on X here in just a minute. And, in terms of Russia, we know that Russia has no signs of slowing down right now. They're planning a large-scale offensive here very soon in April this month. And also we know that on Monday, Russia boosted their army size by another 160,000 troops. So they're bringing in more military troops to potentially wage war more onto Ukraine, which is mostly expected by many of us who continue to follow the news here. And also, we know that Trump has been working really hard to try to end this war. I mean, even before he got into office, when he was president-elect, he mentioned many times that he would end this war as president-elect or have it wrapped up in the first 24 hours in office. Then it got bumped all the way to the first 100 days. Now we're starting to approach that. Now it's looking like this could take several more months or maybe till the end of the year. So it's not looking good for the Trump administration trying to end this war. So let's talk more about this today. Let's hop it over here to a mainstream news article. We're going to briefly go over this, not the entire thing. I'll cite it down below in the description for you guys. You can read the rest if you want to. But this from the Telegraph: Trump's Easter ceasefire in Ukraine won't happen, White House admits. This coming out today, April 2nd, 2025. So Yahoo News was sharing this for us today as well. So this was an attack on Kharkiv that we reported today. I actually showed you guys the video footage. This looked like a drone crashed into the lower side of this building. And we showed that for our update video for the Russia-Ukraine war. So it says here, White House officials have admitted that Donald Trump will not secure a ceasefire in Ukraine by Easter. Sources said the Trump administration was increasingly frustrated with the Kremlin stalling tactics and was preparing to pressure Moscow and Kiev into agreeing a settlement. At the start of his presidency, Mr. Trump set the goals of a full ceasefire to be brokered by April or May, with the lasting peace to follow. But such an agreement will not be achieved in the coming months, senior Trump officials told Reuters, raising the possibility that a 3-year conflict will drag on. Okay, it also says here, the failure to end the war would be a significant blow to Mr. Trump, a self-styled peacemaker and unifier who repeatedly pledged during his presidential campaign to end the conflict within 24 hours. U.S. officials have for weeks complained privately about Kiev's handling of the negotiations and what they view as resistance to a minerals deal with Washington and moving forward with peace talks. Mr. Trump betrayed his feelings on Sunday when he unexpectedly lashed out directly at Putin, saying he was pissed off with the Russian president for dragging his feet over ceasefire negotiations. Okay, so yeah, apparently Trump is very upset with both leaders in this war, with Zelensky and Putin at the same time. He's upset with Putin because Putin appears to be stalling the negotiations and not moving very quickly with this. And then also at the same time, Volodymyr Zelensky, he's trying to sign a major minerals deal with Ukraine. Trump is, that is. And it's not working out very well either, okay? Zelensky's come out many times, and their government in Ukraine stating that the minerals deal is not what Ukraine wants, and they want major security guarantees. They're not getting that. They also want to leave the door open to get into the EU, and that is a very major part of it as well. And they don't want to just sell out Ukraine to try to end this war, okay? They want to make sure that the money that gets produced out of this minerals deal remains in Ukraine and doesn't just turn into a major money dump for the U.S., okay? So now it says here, in a series of calls and meetings at the weekend, White House and State Department officials acknowledged that Putin was actively resisting Washington's attempts to strike a lasting deal and discuss what economic and diplomatic punishments they could inflict, the sources said. There is deep frustration with the Russian government over negotiations, James Hewitt, a U.S. National Security Council spokesman said on Monday. He added that Mr. Trump was clear he would impose secondary sanctions on oil if Russia was not serious about bringing this conflict to a peaceful resolution. The anger towards Moscow marks a notable shift in Washington's belief that Russia is willing to negotiate. Trump has for weeks said he trusts the Russian president and believes he is committed to peace, but the White House has grown wary of Putin's intentions in recent days, as sources said. Okay, so we'll cite this down below. You guys can read some more of that if you want to. There is a little bit more information on that article. It will be in the description of this video. But now we're going to jump on over here to X, and I've got a couple things I want to share with you guys over here as well. Now, we showed you this in our update video this morning for the Russia-Ukraine war, but I wanted to show you this again in case you guys haven't seen this. Max 24 reports senior Trump administration officials say a ceasefire in Ukraine is unlikely to be reached in the next few months, according to Reuters. U.S. officials, including President Trump himself, are growing increasingly disillusioned with Moscow. Last week, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told the Baltic foreign ministers that peace in Ukraine was uncertain and that the U.S. was still far from reaching an agreement. Okay, so more signs here that this thing is going to carry on for months on end, maybe till the end of the year, who knows? Or maybe this war will hit a point where Russia will just be like, you know what, we don't even want to negotiate anymore. We just want to continue fighting until we take over Ukraine, because we know at the end of the day that Russia is just demanding Ukraine's capitulation of this war. They want Ukraine to surrender. And just recently also, over the last week or so, Vladimir Putin even called for the destruction of Ukraine, basically, and saying that they would finish off Ukraine's military, their troops. Okay, so it looks to me like Russia is not committed to peace, but for some reason the Trump administration believes that Putin is committed to peace. Okay, so you guys let me know what you think on that. Finally, this last update here from Jurgen Nodit. The U.S. has reportedly temporarily lifted sanctions on Putin's envoy to allow him to come to Washington. According to CNN and Reuters, this is Kirill Dmitriev, who is reportedly due to arrive in the U.S. today to meet with Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff. Talks will focus on strengthening relations between the countries amid efforts to end the war in Ukraine. Dmitriev is a close advisor to Putin and the CEO of the Russian Direct Investment Fund, or RDIF, which has been sanctioned by the Biden administration. Like Putin over Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Putin and his inner circle have long relied on Dmitriev and the RDIF to raise funds abroad. In February, he visited Saudi Arabia with senior Russian officials to begin discussions on ending Russia's war against Ukraine, Ukraine Now. So this is him right here. This is Kirill Dmitriev, okay? He's going to be meeting with Steve Witkoff, the special envoy from the Middle East for Russia, okay? So they're going to be meeting in Washington sometime today, and they'll be discussing potentially this war coming to an end and maybe more ties between the U.S. and Russia and working some sort of deals out together, probably some business deals, who really knows. But this is another major sign to me that maybe the U.S. is becoming desperate and they're trying to work heavily with Russia to try to end this war. Maybe in some ways it could look like they're begging Russia to end this war. But you guys let me know what you think. I mean, to me, what I've been seeing based on all the evidence and the information coming out from this war that we get for you guys on independent sources here on X, it doesn't look like this war is going to come to an end. It doesn't look like Russia wants to end this war. It looks like they want to carry on the invasion into Ukraine until the job is done, even if it takes them several more years or whatever it might be, assuming that Russia could carry on this invasion into Ukraine that long economically. But overall, it's not looking good in terms of ending this war when it comes to Trump trying to get a ceasefire here. But I just wanted to give you guys some updates coming out from this war and let you know that it looks like it is not going to end anytime soon, okay? So you guys let me know what you think down below in the comment section, but that's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell, that way YouTube can notify you. With that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.